Hi guys, it is time for another one of your replays, and we are back with cjacey in his T-34-1. We've featured CJ before in his M22 Locust, and this time he is in the Tier 7 Chinese medium tank, one of my favorite Chinese tanks so far. And he is on Corellia. It's a 52%er, so very, very close. But CJ's in a Tier 7 tank in a Tier 9 game. It's a very Tier 9 game. There are 4 Tier 9s on the enemy team and a bunch of Tier 8s and quite a few nasty TDs along with arties. So CJ has his work cut out. And here we go. So CJ starts by heading over to the AB lines. He's got some decent backup. He's got a T-34, a T-32, and a Carnarvon coming over to back him up on this flank. And a lot of his team are heading down the zero line to do some work in the valley. They've run into the enemy Type 59 platoon. There's a Conqueror who's decided to cover middle, and the Conqueror has spotted a VK. CJ's looking for some shots. Nothing on the VK. And then a T-34-3 is spotted. So again, being bottom tier, CJ is not being aggressive. He's taking his time. Pops out to see if he can get a spot, but no joy. VK is exposed. Manages to bounce on the VK. VK has been tracked. And gets a nice shot in on the VK. So he's going to pop out again, see if he can spot anything. But no eyes on the T-34-3. Okay, T-34-3 has been spotted again, and he's got a T-54 for backup. T-34-3 is advancing. Now CJ does something very, very clever here. He reverses away from the rock so that he's not proxy spotted. He's waiting for the T-34-3 to come around the corner. And he's falling back. So going head to head against the T-34-3 or the T-54 is probably not going to end well for CJ. So he falls back in order to set up an ambush in case the T-34-3 decides to come around the corner. Drops into the dip. Ooh, can't get a shot on the T-34-3. Takes a snapshot, but misses. Carnarvon finishes off the T-34-3. There's an AMX AC-46 that's moved up to support the T-54, but he doesn't last very long. But if you've been looking at the mini-map, things have not gone well for CJ's team. They are about to lose the zero line. But there's still a T-54 up here that needs to be dealt with. So Object 704 has taken out the T-28. Things are definitely not looking good on the 0 line, but they do have an AMX 5120 moving across to cover. Don't know if CJ realizes it, but I think the AMX was way ahead of him on that one. So even though one flank is collapsed, all the tanks on this flank are still advancing. It is 5v1, but yet they're taking their time. AMX 5120 takes out one of the Type 59s. CJ trying to get his gun down, trying to get a shot in the T-54. Misses a cupola shot. And I think CJ's team are being very unfair to the AMX. The AMX did move across to cover. He did take out the 2 Type 59s. Unfortunately, not in time to save RT. But of course, being an RT player, he thinks the world revolves around him. Now, CJ's team are playing pretty poorly here. Even though it was 5v1 against the T-54, they ignored him. They basically ignored the T-54, kept advancing until the T-54 was able to get flank shots, and then they turned around and dealt with him. And that AMX 5120 is still down here. He's the only tank on the 0 line, so CJ moves across to help him. And again, we don't know what the reload situation is on the AMX. We don't know whether he's got a full clip or whether he's still reloading. So the VK seems to be firing HE. Okay, AMX takes out the VK. And the AMX is up to 3 kills. So in the meantime, the tanks that advanced down the 1-2 lines are running into heavy resistance, and they've basically got their butts kicked. So it's pretty much just CJ, an AMX, and a 5916 left. Object 704 is spotted. AMX is probably on a reload. And CJ advances on the object, goes for a track shot, does damage, gets stuck on the rock unfortunately, but the object has fired. Tries another track shot and misses, but manages to track the object by ramming him. A little bit fortunate, but well played. So CJ's got the rear of the object. Kills the object for kill number 1. 5916 does a good job and takes out enemy RT. And AMX may be on a reload again. Not quite sure. So it's 3v3. Dangerous tanks left on the enemy team. 5916 is dead, and that just leaves one tier 9 AMX and the tier 7 T-34-1 versus an M103, an object, and a Borsig. So, not quite sure what CJ does here. He goes AFK for a while, so we're going to speed it up. And again, his team are giving the AMX some grief. I don't agree with it, because the AMX has actually done a pretty good job. And his team don't know whether or not the AMX is on a reload. So CJ comes back. Decides to move forward to see if he can spot anything, but an M103 appears in the distance. Okay, CJ spots the object. Object doesn't spot him. Aims fully, gets one shot into the object. Fires another shot in the move that misses. But that's good play. Doesn't go head to head against the object. That's one way to lose. So the AMX is on low health, but he's covering the flank. 103 appears. Ouch! So M103 puts a big shot into CJ, sets him on fire. CJ uses his fire extinguisher, returns fire, and now they're being capped. So used a premium shot, goes through the front of the M103. They're being capped. AMX is already turning around. Now we don't know whether or not the AMX, what damage the AMX has sustained. It's possible. AMX is a dead engine. We don't know. So I really do think they're being too critical against the AMX player. Judging by the speed the AMX is moving, I think it's fairly obvious his engine is damaged. So something has just bounced off the AMX. So the AMX has been spotted. He's taken fire. He's falling into cover. And that just leaves CJ to go and try and save the cap. Knowing it's the Borsig capping, CJ switches to HE, which is a good move. And there's the Borsig, and he's on low health. So, again, a little bit of luck involved. The Borsig only manages to track CJ. CJ fires without being fully aimed, and manages to kill the Borsig. So, a little bit of luck, but then again, you always need a little bit of luck if you're going to have a big game. So the AMX, even though someone shot at him on the 0 line, he's staying in cover, and again I think CJ's being a little bit too harsh. AMX knows that there's an enemy tank behind him. He's setting up an ambush, and there's the object. So the AMX set up an ambush for the object, gets 2 shots in, misses a 3rd shot, and then the object manages to kill the 120. So it's CJ versus the object. So really good use of ammunition here, switching between premium HE and regular AP shells depending on what enemy he's facing. So the object is advancing. He needs to come around the corner. CJ goes for a track shot. Tracks him, but the object has a repair kit. And a good shot into the lower glacis. So that was cjacey, or CJ as I call him, in his T-34-1 T-34-1 at Tier 7 in a Tier 9 game. And you can see he got a First Class Mastery Badge. He got an Oskins Medal for destroying 3 enemy vehicles that were at least 2 tiers higher than himself. And he ended up getting a Defender Medal. He came top on XP by quite a considerable margin, 1200 XP, 2206 damage with 4 kills. The AMX, who most of his team were attacking, actually did a very, very good job. He ended up getting 839 XP and did 3,300 or 434 damage with 3 kills. So I thought the AMX played a lot better than his team gave him credit for. CJ ended up firing 18 shots, 13 hits, 13 penetrations, 2,206 damage. He received 3 hits and 1,290 potential damage. He detected 1 enemy tank and damaged 5, destroyed 4, and did 592, almost 600 damage upon detecting, and managed to do 86 base defense points on top of that. He earned 76,000 credits after costs for that game. It was the first game of the day, so it was an 1800 XP game times 2 with a 359 XP bonus, which left him on 3,959 XP with a premium account. So a very, very nice game from a Tier 7 in a Tier 9 matchup. Well played. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.